Why isn't it working in Tampa, I guess, Dan Orlovsky from ESPN here on the Rich Eisen Show? I mean, you just mentioned how Mahomes has some easy things. We talk about how elaborate that scheme is in Kansas City, but they also give some easy things. It also helps to give Tyreek Hill one-on-one coverage, as we saw Tampa Bay continuously do in that first quarter yesterday. But it was jarring to me again, Dan, to see Brady in the role of, can he keep pace with the other team's offense? That's been the narrative for Brady on the other foot for 20 years. But they lost that game in the first quarter. It was essentially done right there. What is going on there, and how can it be fixed to make Brady maybe more comfortable in that offense the last few weeks?
Yeah, the best way I can describe Tampa Bay right now is they are so dependent on an incredibly high level and really an unrealistic level of execution. Like, they get 70 snaps, and they have to be so good, all 11 across the board, with their execution that it just challenges their offense and kind of minimizes their level of success. Because I think there's two things in the NFL that has really started to show itself a little bit on the back end of last year, and then it's been dominant this year, that are difference makers for the really good offenses in the NFL. Pre-snap motion, and I'm not just talking about one guy going from one side of the formation to the other. I'm talking like with speed and snapping the ball at the same time, because it creates leverage and angles for blocking and matchups and gives defenses a ton to look at. So you have to do that, and then you have to utilize play-action pass. And the Buccaneers don't do either of that. And so those things really minimize the necessity or the need for a high level of execution, because you're like, oh, well, I got you out in space versus a linebacker. Great. You don't need to be great. You just need to be good enough. And so that's why when I mentioned, like, it minimizes the need for this high level of execution when you do that stuff, and the Buccaneers don't. And so they're just so demanding on everybody on their offense to be just at their absolute best all the time. And that's just really bad coaching. And they're not doing things that Tom Brady is so kind of notorious for. Get to the line of scrimmage. Gronkowski's out there. Oh, there's a corner. Now I know it's zone. Okay, now I've cut half of my thinking, or half the time that I need to think, I've cut in half. And so I think that Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich are just stuck in their ways because they've seen it work before. No, I've seen this work with Carson Palmer or Andrew Luck or Big Ben. I know this offense is good. Well, that might be true, but it's not good right now. You have different people operating it, and they kind of expose themselves to way too many of their weaknesses offensively. Their protection, the deep ball. It happens way too much. The question, can it be fixed? How? They got 12 practices left. If it hasn't been fixed or altered since August, it's hard for me to think that over the next 4 or 5 weeks that they're going to remarkably or miraculously change who they are.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.